As time goes on, I feel as if people are getting more warm to the idea of Yamato joining, and as we get closer to the end of Wano, I do believe that we are one step closer to finally seeing the Straw Hat Pirates be complete. Many years ago, Oda stated that we'd get successive Straw Hat Pirates joining the crew, and finally with Jinbei joining the crew in Wano, I believe we're heading into the biggest party yet, with two, possibly even more characters joining the Straw Hat Pirates. Personally, I feel they should be complete by the time they take out their first emperor, so I do believe the final Straw Hat is somewhere in Wano. By the way, I'm not including Vivi or Karu. They're already a part of the Straw Hat Pirates, they just don't sail with them, and one day they will reunite. If you've been a fan of this channel for a while, you already know my thoughts on Yamato. I do believe he will be the final member of the Straw Hat Pirates. I've been thinking this ever since their name was first introduced into the story. Now, I could easily make this a 30-second video by just saying that Yamato literally wants to leave Wano and has no intention of staying, and actually wants to go out to sea with Luffy because unfortunately Ace died and wasn't able to fulfill his promise, so the next best thing is to go with his little brother Luffy, and Yamato has stated every time that they want to leave out to sea with Luffy and fulfill his dream and open the borders of Wano. In fact, she's even said this in front of Kaido's face where he's like, "Hey, how dare you say that to me? I'm Kaido, you're my son." That was a really bad impersonation, but you get what I'm trying to say. But of course, we need a lot more than that, with a lot of people stating that it's a little too obvious that Yamato's joining, and my response to that is, who really cares? Most of the Straw Hats joining was pretty obvious, with the exceptions of Robin, Frankie, and kinda Jinbei to a point. Well, Frankie sort of by midway into Eni's lobby and we got that infamous color spread, you kinda understood that he was going to be the next Straw Hat. While Momo and Yamato share the same beliefs and dreams and aspire to be Odin, one has big boobs, tall, beautiful, and a great character. The other one is a weak coward bitch that always needs moral support to even lift a finger. I'm sorry, that was kind of mean. Momonosuke is pretty cool. Well, not really, but you get what I mean. Let's be honest, because of how weak and cowardly he has no business joining the Straw Hats. We already have someone that fills those shoes. His name is Usopp. He's a fantastic character. So instead, why not replace Momo with someone who is beautiful, strong, and has the same dream as him, while also providing the same role he would play, but actually be useful and not a hindrance. I promise I don't mean to be mean to Momonosuke. He just shouldn't be on the crew, and he would have a bigger role to play in the future of the story, hopefully involving Zunisha. But Yamato has a lot more to offer and potential outside of Wano, and more room to grow as a person, whereas other candidates that could have potentially joined the Straw Hats, their stories and plot lines more or less centered around the arc they were introduced in. Characters like Boa Hancock, Polly, Vivi, Wiper, and so on are all characters we all would have wished to have joined the Straw Hats at one point, but unfortunately they just didn't have any dreams to aspire towards once their arc was over, because their whole plot and story was kind of wrapped up within that arc, so they had no reason to join Luffy and the Straw Hats despite many fans wanting them to do so. And that is a major requirement for a Straw Hat member, where they are needed to join the Straw Hats and follow Luffy in order to fulfill their dreams, as a lot of their dreams are kind of intertwined and need Luffy to kind of push them forward and continue with their lives and fulfill their destinies. And Yamato is no exception, where he needs to join Luffy in order to fulfill his and Odin's dream in order to open the borders of Wano and find the One Piece. And with Yamato's desire to go out to the sea and learn more about the world, that gives us a lot more potential for future storylines, character interactions, and growth as a character for Yamato to get powerful and to become, honestly, a different person than we first met in the beginning of Wano. And that's the real joy of Yamato potentially joining the Straw Hats, how he will interact with the other members as well as other characters that we've seen previously in the series. Personally, I would love to see Bartolomeo or Cavendish interact with Yamato. I think that'd be a very fun experience. And how Yamato would react to certain situations outside of their comfort zone on different islands, because we know how vast and dangerous the New World can be. And with Odin's journal, we can get some even more insight on certain races, islands, or or situations, because of course Yamato considers that his Bible. So it would be a great way to see things be further explored in the world of One Piece by relating it to something he knows with Oden and his journey. And of course, I can't wait for Yamato to finally interact and meet with Zoro, the person that looks exactly like another person that saved Yamato's life, and how that's gonna unfold and how their relationship might blossom because of that situation. But of course, we all would like to see just how more powerful Yamato can become. We've already seen a glimpse of his power, and probably just the tip of the iceberg, being the very few people that can use advanced Conqueror's Haki, as well as have a mythical Zoan. And to a lot of people, they think that because of that, Yamato is a bit too powerful to join the Straw Hats and would destroy the structure and dynamic of the monster trio. And to an extent, I do agree, because on paper, Yamato should be almost as strong as Zoro, who just defeated a first division commander, and that could completely destroy the dynamic of the Straw Hat Pirates. But my response to that is, it doesn't really matter, because we have gone through the same song and dance before with many characters that joined or could have potentially joined the Straw Hat Pirates. We go through the whole same conversation. You guys already know it by now. The monsters here are different. There's a new one. Sanji has been replaced. Zoro has been replaced, and all that type of stuff. But I'm here to say that that dynamic between those three characters will never change. If there's one thing about Oda and his writing, is that he never really deviates from his writing patterns or the status quo. He likes to keep things pretty similar and the same, and he kind of triples down in Wano that Zoro and Sanji are both the two strongest fighters, after Luffy always being relied upon, even going as far as making both of these guys defeat the two top commanders in the Beast Pirates. And obviously Oda did this for a reason, to just triple down on that Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji have been and forever will be the three strongest fighters in the crew. And this might rub some people the wrong way. Personally, if Yamato were to join the Straw Hat Pirates, yeah, she might be powerful than Sanji at first, but in about an arc or a few chapters, we're gonna realize real quickly that it's still going to be Luffy, Zoro, then Sanji, and then probably Yamato afterwards. And that is the beauty of the monster trio dynamic, that no matter the circumstance or the situation, the dynamic will never change, and these guys are forever the three strongest fighters in the pirate crew. And I don't think characters like Yamato or Jinbei will change this at all. But that does not mean the dynamic of the crew as a whole will not change with the inclusion of Yamato, because it definitely would be, because that is definitely a very powerful addition to the Straw Hat Pirates. And you gotta wonder, where would you place Yamato in the hierarchy of the crew? Of course, you have the monster trio, but Oda did go out of his way to make Luffy be head and shoulders above everyone else, and make this crew a bit more similar to other Yonko crews, where you have the captain, and then you have the three commanders, and then you have the powerful subordinates, and then you have everyone else. And in this case, I guess it would be Luffy #1, captain of course, Zoro, Sanji, and then Yamato as quote-unquote the commanders, and then you would have the Toby Ropo of the crew, which would be Jinbei, Robin, Frankie, and Brook, and then of course the weakling trio. But that's on paper, because Zoro and Sanji have both just defeated the first and second commander in Wano now, and we're not even close to being done with the series. So you gotta wonder, just how more powerful are these guys going to become? And honestly, in the next arc or two, these guys will be above commanders and be around admiral, or even above that as well. So Yamato joining kind of would make sense, because the characters and crew that we're going to be fighting afterwards is going to be hella powerful. You gotta wonder just how strong the Blackbeard Pirates are, the Marines will be. So having a powerful addition with Yamato makes a lot of sense, rather than having someone else that needs a lot more growth like Momonosuke or Carrot, who aren't necessarily the strongest characters in the series, and kind of would bring down the crew as a whole, if you ask me. And even on paper, if Yamato is stronger than maybe both of them, one thing that both Zoro and Sanji have over Yamato is actually experience. These guys have gone through a lot of different islands, different situations, circumstances, and they're able to adjust, where Yamato has more or less just been stuck in Wano, having to fight her poor old dad in order to get stronger. But that's the beauty of it, because once Yamato joins, we can see just how much more powerful Yamato can become and see the true potential of this character. Okay, with that out of the way, there is still one more thing that I think is needed in order for someone to be fully looked at as a potential candidate to join the Straw Hats, and that is they are always pivotal or central to the arc they are introduced in, or at least play a major role. And this is something every single Straw Hat share in common, and I don't think Yamato is an exception, being the son of Kaido and also being at the hand of his abuse. Just like all of the samurai of Wano, Yamato shares the exact same ideals, wishing to fulfill Odin's dream and open the borders of Wano. Despite not having a final confrontation or battle within Wano, Yamato still plays a major role within the arc by coaching and supporting Momonosuke throughout the entire battle, by encouraging him and giving him the confidence needed in order to stop Onigashima. And honestly, without Yamato's assistance, Momonosuke would have fumbled and got everyone killed. While also playing a major role in Wano, there is another aspect that's needed in order to join the Straw Hats, and that is for Luffy to literally or figuratively free them from their shackles. Every single Straw Hat was shackled down in the arc that they're introduced in, either literally or even emotionally, where characters like Sanji was kind of stagnant in his life despite having dreams and aspirations of his own, but until Luffy came into his life and showed him that dreams are worth fighting for, he was finally able to relieve the shackles of his past and his debt of Zeph, and was able to finally pursue his dream. Zoro and Jinbei were literally locked up and probably sentenced to death until Luffy saved them, quite literally. And there's other characters like Nami, where he freed them of their debt, freed Brook from the Florian Triangle, and so on and so forth. And Yamato is no exception as well, because Yamato was more or less literally, figuratively, and emotionally stuck in Wano and was unable to leave it until her father was defeated, even being cuffed by his father, exploding handcuffs, until Luffy came in and destroyed them, freeing Yamato physically. And next is obviously emotionally, which is just happened with the defeat of Kaido and the Beast Pirates. The Straw Hats were all slaves of circumstance and all needed to be saved, and thus came the Sun God, aka Luffy, aka Nika, who is known for freeing the slaves and bringing laughter. And for all of the Straw Hats, they are forever indebted to Luffy because he was able to do the one thing that no one else was able to, and that is to free them from their fates. Of course, I can make a 30 to 60 minute long video discussing why I think Yamato would join the crew, but at the end of the day, there will still be people that just don't like the idea or agree with it because they already have their mind set up on their agenda or another character joining the crew. And when someone has their mind made up, 9 times out of 10, you're not changing it through an argument. It is what it is. It's life. They have to figure it out on their own terms. A little life advice, I guess. Heck, to this day, there's still people that believe Carrot will end up joining the Straw Hat Pirates, despite if you remove her from this arc, she won't really have much of an effect on Wano as a whole. I'm sorry, not really sorry. But before we sign off, let's actually quickly talk about Yamato's potential bounty, where every person involved in this arc is going to get a bounty raise or a bounty in general, and I think Yamato is also no exception. Now, what is that bounty going to be? It's numbers, honestly. Bounties are bullshit. They could underestimate her or overestimate her, who knows. Now, in terms of numbers, I could see her potentially having the same or similar bounty to Ace because of their connection and relationship. It'd be a nice little callback, so maybe 500 to 550 million would be nice. Another possibility is that it could reflect Odin's, the person that she models herself after, and this would greatly please Yamato. Of course, this bounty was teased to us, but it was never shown, so we don't actually know the number, but of course this could be revealed with Yamato's first bounty, and I think that'd be a really cool reference, or potentially this could be Yamato's final bounty reflecting Odin's journey as well. Personally, from what we've seen, I can definitely see Yamato having a bounty over 1 billion, being the son of Kaido, being extremely powerful, mythical devil fruit, also having advanced conqueror's haki, having a play in hand in defeating Kaido and helping the Straw Hats, potentially even joining the Straw Hats. So that would make sense, but that'd be a hell of a first bounty if you ask me. So we're gonna probably downplay it and give it around 550 to 700 mil. I think would be perfectly fine for a character like Yamato. But that is everything. This video is getting kind of long. I hope you guys enjoyed it and could potentially see Yamato join the crew. Tell me what you guys think of Yamato as a character. I would like to know. I hope you guys have a good day and a good night. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.